Greetings guys, this is Stretch. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today I figured we'd do the Talwar, and my god, was it difficult coming up with a brawling fit that I actually enjoyed with this. This is what I ended up coming up with, like a 400 plate with a small anti. We can't do a plate unfortunately, and prop. So if that 400 plate, it takes so much fit and resources, and if you're going for a 200 plate, the tank isn't where I'd like it to be. But the lack of prop does, feels weird. Like the Talwar space speed's actually quite fast for Destroyer. So I found for Destroyer versus Destroyer, with the two webs and the scram, you can actually sort of still range control a little bit. Not like I wouldn't go for AFs, right? You won't have much range control against an AF and like frigates, but frigates you should be able to just like blap. Like frigate gangs, you don't really want to be pulling range. Well, you do, but you probably won't have the opportunity to do so. And the fact that we have dual T2 webs, we can use rage missiles against frigates and apply very well. We're still hitting out to 12k, so it's doing pretty sweet. So if we were doing like a single web and a prop in the scram, we'd be forced to use faction missiles against frigates and stuff, because the rage of course wouldn't apply. So I think the not having the prop doesn't really hurt this fit too much. The Talwar isn't the greatest destroyer. I try and make it work here, but we've got it does have glaring weaknesses, right? Range control being one of them. And kiters, like, with Javelin, you're still heading out to 22 to 23, so you can force off kiters if need be. But if the kiter's on point, you can lose your Talwar, which we'll see in the upcoming fights. I am using Paralance Dose 2, that's not really required, you can go for Dose 1, Dose 2 is quite expensive, actually. Standard Exile, and 3% DPS implants. You might notice there's a bit of different DPS in some of these fights. I think a few of these fights is into 5% damage implants and one time because I was chopping changing pods. So that's, but most of these fights have been these 2-3%. And yeah, I think that's everything guys, let's get on to the fights. Okay, speaking of kiters, I was really underestimating this Kestrel, so you'll notice I don't have my webs and scram heated at the start there. I was actually expecting this to be some form of brawly Kestrel, but this is a light missile Kestrel. This is very awkward for me. I do end up loading to what I believe Merlin or Javelin here, and my missiles aren't applying as well as what I was hoping. He's keeping my good. He's doing well, keeping at 22 to 23. I'm sort of like change my lines, approaching, trying to break his orbit so my missiles will apply here. But yeah, after a very long time, we do actually end up with our Talwar, and that's made me feel very bad. But I'm also trying to escape at the same time, trying to like do enough DPS to force him off, but it doesn't happen. So just be aware, good kiters can do bad things too. Okay, here we have a fight against Dragoon. I was curious to see how this went actually. I don't think there's any way I can outplay the newts just because of the optimal range bonus the Dragoon gets. I can't really get out far and then get out of the newt range. So I was curious. I was basically want to try and get as much reps as possible from a small anti before I'm capped out. And so I'm not too worried about losing the dual webs on this Dragoon, so I should still be apply quite well to destroy without the webs. Right? This was my thinking. So yeah, it's still really close though. We still have like a lot of buffer here, so I wasn't too concerned. Like if this is a full newt Dragoon, just like completely neuted us out, I still think we would have had a chance here. Just cause a decent DPS, we're doing like 300 DPS and like the 9.2k HP we had, and we do end up taking it. Okay, for this second fight, this is a very odd Coercer. This is like a 13k EHP Coercer. He has like 400 plates and like the lower pulses, right? So notice he's not putting out a lot of DPS here, which I was like curious. I was very curious. I thought he was like new, but it's just the way he's fit, right? He has a lot of HP in his Coercer, and we were able to tank thing, man. I'm orbiting this guy 500, trying to get underneath his gun somewhat. You do see that he's mostly getting hits here, but he gets like I think 1 grazing. I don't think if he orbited out, maybe actually if we orbited out like 9k or something, just because he's using the lower tier pulses, he might have been forced to use like something other than con flag or multi-frequency. That might have been the right call here, but I was expecting him to be like the big pulses or the big beams. So we end up taking him. I've still got a lot of tank here. Sweet. I don't notice that if any of you commenting outside here, and I'm just going to kill the pod and then just chill. Like bad things. I should have kept that small ANSI running, but just because I didn't notice the comment coming in. Like at this point, I should be running that Ripper. Comet scrams me. I'm like, okay, this could be really intense here, because I was curious to see how this would go. So I'm just overheat the missiles. Don't burn out your guns. Destroyers, you burn out your guns so quickly, and destroyers keep on top of that. Especially if you don't have like thermodynamics trained very well. And I'm notoriously bad for burnout stuff, so I'm just being careful here. So you see, this is very close. Comets have a ridiculous amount of EHP and a small ANSI. And nice DPS. There's a blaster comet here. So you'll see this is very close. I'm running out of cap. One little charge. Ah, no, we take it. We take it. GF, boys. Okay, here we're up against Shield Algos. God damn it, it had to be Shield, man. That's the worst outcome for us, especially because we're using Nova Rage here. Perhaps when I clocked onto this guy being Shield, it may have been worth changing to Molnir or Inferno missiles. But I figured we're just going with Nova Rage. I'm tanking okay-ish. We are breaking here. But I'm thinking this is going to be pretty close. We're about halfway past his shield buffer at this point. I'm like, alright, let's just go for it. He should melt through his armor and hull. The only thing with Algos is as a lot of hull buffer. If he's running DCU, which I suspect he is. I think if you have like a DCU and dual DDAs, just for extra DPS here. So you'll notice this is very, very close. I'm aligned out at this point. I don't know what outcome this is going to be. So we down to the wire, and there's one volley difference. We end up losing. Okay, here we have a thing. It's a DD and a Merlin. I'm hoping this DD is actually blasters, and I can just nuke it. And perhaps, I don't know, pull range from the Merlin, or maybe kill it before it kills me. That's a real DD. And this is a cool little engagement here, but this highlights some very bad piloting by this DD. I'm sorry, man. But he pulls out really, really far. This, I don't know if he pulls out this far and loads Spike, but he ends up loading Spike, and then you'll see he comes in close. This is an MWD DD, and I believe he's orbiting me. So you notice I'm tanking completely fine here, and you'll notice that the DD's like missing me like a lot. Had that DD kept me at range, say like, I don't know, like 15 or something, whilst the Merlin was on top of me and used like high DPS ammo, I probably would have lost this. But you'll notice his orbit like this is really bad for him. He's just completely missing, especially with Spike that gives like a crazy tracking penalty. So it takes like there's a bad effort on my side as well. It takes me way too long to load Javelin here. But you'll see, as soon as I load Javelin, I think this guy gets it and he ends up keeping us at range there. You see we're a lot more DPS now, but he's not very tanked here. He's just like pure fleet kite fit, and he just goes down rapid. So GF, boys. Okay, here's another loss, but highlights something like it was good. It's informative. So this guy's using a guidance disruptor, right? Like optimal range disrupting my missiles. So instead of going to Nova, I go to faction. This was the wrong call. This is what killed me here. This battle's doing very well as well. He's overkeeping the scram and keeping at 10k, and then to 11k at sometimes in this fight, which is really smart. You know, like I was expecting to hit a little bit further. So what I should have really done is load Javelin here. And I would have been totally fine here, but switching to faction here, could have maybe switched to Javelin at this point, but I feel like that another second reload, I've just lost it. So what I end up doing, knowing that I'm in a really dire predicament here, is a line out. I'm hoping that he burns out his scram, or he's forced to turn off overheat, and then he can get into my missile range and start getting DPS down, or I can escape. And this doesn't happen. We go down, but it's good to know, right? If you're getting guidance disrupted like this, probably Javelin's a call. Okay, here I've fight against two already Thrashers. Basically, I want to orbit these close, right, and say, hopefully, like, I don't know, get a grazing hit or something. We're probably still going to get big hits here. There's a true web scram already Thrasher. And notice, even though we're orbiting close, right, we're super slow at this point. We're still taking massive hits. Make sure that you start your small anti very, like, you know, early in these kind of fights. Go see how close this is, right? There's like one volley difference in this fight, just because of the amount of DPS and alpha these Thrashers do. Had we taken like one more alpha, we would have probably lost this. But nevertheless, GF. This second one's the AB dual web one, and basically like he came into me, right, so I keep my orbit 5k. That way I can like situate myself as autos. I can quickly pull my range to 8k or 9k to perhaps get a far fall off, or if it's already, we'll switch to 500. I start my rep really slowly in this fight, and we do end up taking this, but something that Thrasher could have done to outplay us is pull his keypad to like 12 to 13, in which case my rage won't be hitting him anymore, and he'll still be doing very good alpha, but he doesn't end up doing this. And yeah, GF. And just to finish it off, this nice little gang fight against a Frigate gang. I see these guys in the gate. I warp to the small, hoping that some will just warp after me, not all at once, because this would be a bit rough if they all warped at once. So basically, I just ram this Condor, so I know he's gonna be long point, and if he escapes, it's gonna be a nightmare, right? I can load Javelin at the end of this fight if I'm still alive, and potentially force him off or kill him. So I get a Condor out of the way. I go for the Executioner as opposed to the Merlin, because I expect him to go down a lot quicker. Just because we're using explosive ammo and they're usually a lot more lightly tanked. That Merlin could be like a medium shield extender kind of buffer. Get that thing going on. So then I want to keep at 7.5k from this Merlin. I don't clock on to him being rails. So really we should have been orbiting that guy. But that would have gone underneath his guns quite well just because he has a whip. I see the Tormentors here as well. I'm excited. So what we want to do is orbit that Tormentor. Probably won't make it much damage, but it's worth trying. The Merlin was shield fit and goes down. And then this Tormentor appears to be a newer player. He has T1 guns. And I don't think he starts these reps quickly. He goes down rapid. So this was yeah, a nice little brawl against these guys. Definitely a GF for sure. Okay, that's the fights I had for you guys. I do hope you enjoy. This tower has done quite a lot of work, man. It done what it was designed to do, right? It's actually not a bad brawler against, say, other destroyers like Frigate gangs and stuff. It'd be hard set to recommend you fight AF. So you could maybe kill a Wolfness or an Ishka, but maybe an Enyo. It's gonna be hard killing an Enyo, but the more I don't know, Vengeances, Jags, Enyos, Hawks, Harpies, they're gonna be a very hard fight for this, right? AFs are generally a no-go for destroyers. You can kill some of the weaker ones, but most AFs, just because of this all damage control, you're gonna have a very hard time for. So mainly your ones you're gonna be going for is Frigate gangs or T1 frigates, faction frigates that are ballsy enough to try for you, or the destroyers, right? Just be mindful of missile TDs, and then probably the best shout is to go for Javelin. Or if the pilot isn't competent, faction could have been a go. Against that T-Sky dude, if he didn't overheat his scram, keep himself at that range, faction would have done alright. But he played it very well, so GF to that guy. Yeah, I think that's pretty much covered everything. I do hope you guys enjoy it. I enjoyed flying to Talwar. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, I believe it is. The rest of the week, and yeah, it always humbles me when you guys spend time watching my videos. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and week stuff. Take care.